Hi guys, welcome back. It's UK. It's been a while since I did a gaming update. As some of you may know, real life has been in the way over the last 6 months or so, up and down, and it's kind of like sat my desire to do these bids. But I want to get back to it. So that's what I said a couple of months ago, and I mean it. I really want to get back into it. So I'm just going to jump in with this one, which is where things have been over the last few months. On the roleplay front, my Pathfinder game, my campaign ended. I wrapped it up about 10th level. What I had wanted to do, the loss of a couple of players, as well as everything that happened in real life, it basically sapped my my desire for it, and to the point where I just wasn't enjoying running it. So I kind of wrapped that up, and I've been looking for a campaign since. Because again, those of you who watch my videos know that I really like adventure paths, as opposed to just a series of unrelated modules. And I actually ended up picking one up that I originally dismissed, called War of the Burning Sky by EN Publishing. It's one of those settings where the idea is that the magic in the setting, in the rules rather, exists. So long distance, big empires have teleports, so they can send messengers, that sort of thing. Even the humanoid monster races like orcs and goblins are part of society because it's that sort of world. They're not just monsters. And it was something that really kind of turned me off, because I don't like that sort of thing. But I decided, this looks like quite an epic thing. Let's give something for the players. I want to run this as far as it goes, so I'm looking at probably 21st level. And I've basically said to let's do this for the players. So we've gone for 25 point buy. The only classes I banned are Gunslinger and Summoner, which is my standard. And most of the races, from the advanced race guide, you can play most of those. And we've got a very odd, interesting mix of characters, and they're currently near the end of Book 2, The Fire Forest of Inukdar, for those that know it. And that's going along quite well. And so I'm hoping that, because it's a pre-written something, I'll be able to update as I go along and not worry too much about how real life is going. I haven't got to write anything, so that's good. We have come back partially to the Dark Heresy game, although that's gone a little bit awkward for me in a way. The GM is good. He likes his sandbox stuff, so he likes to drop you in it and then let you decide everything you want to do. Unfortunately, it's sort of like we've spent. We worked it out last night on the way home from the game. We probably spent about 14 hours trying to explore and deal with events on one space station, and we're all, I think, getting a little bit bored of it. Thankfully, we wrapped that up in last night's game, but we've now got the next stage of that sandbox. We've got the rest of that system, and we're on the hunt for something, or some things, I should say. And we're just kind of hoping that he hasn't written up the huge amounts of text that he did for the space station for each of these planets. Otherwise, we're all going to be here till, doomsday. I think we're kind of wanting that game to pick up the pace a little bit and let us get on with things. Been playing some Pathfinder Society stuff. I'm going to do a video about that separately the next day or so. A couple of the guys have been doing it for 6-7 months, I guess. Beginning of the year, maybe the end of last year they started, and they've kind of dragged some of us into playing it as well. But I'll deal with that on the other bit. I won't drag this one out too long. The Cthulhu game has been going well. They've reached the Master of Nyarlathotep stage of it. The actual getting them away from civilized, Western world has actually done the game quite a bit of good, I think, because they haven't been able to run around with guns and dynamite and all this sort of stuff. They're actually having to focus on the story a little bit more. But I'm pleased with how that particular game's going. We haven't played the Rise of the Rune Lords for a little while because the GM in question has been away overseas for work for a few weeks. I think that game's back on this Friday. I'm looking forward to that. Having the break, actually, I think, from it has probably done us a bit of good. So fingers crossed we're back in for that. Warhammer front, we've had, since I spoke last, couple of new books come out, including the Space Marine one. The 40k league I've been running at the shop, we've wrapped up, we've null and void it. We had too many people drop out for a load of bullshit reasons, quite frankly. Some people, we had people who couldn't do it for work. Work commitments came up and what have you. Fantastic. We had a couple of people drop out because it's far too competitive. When at least one of those players was one of the more competitive players. And then others kind of people have dropped out. It's not worth me playing, and it's just like you were going to win anyway. What's your problem? So that's been a bit of a grumble on my mind. Got a bit pissed off with that. It's not any particular person's fault. We kind of got a little bit screwed over by the venue having to do refurbishments just as we were starting the league, and we had to kind of compensate to try and let people catch up. But now the guys are looking to do a escalation Warhammer Fantasy game, probably starting in, I don't know, maybe the end of the year or beginning of the new year. A couple of the guys are also starting getting into a game called Drop Zone Commander. They've got a bit fed up with the Games Workshop prices and what have you. They're trying to play this. I've looked at it and I think it looks absolutely terrible, so I won't be touching it. But otherwise, the club's going on quite well. One thing we have got into around here lately, and I am absolutely loving it, is the X-Wing miniatures game from Fantasy Flight. I don't know what it is. Normally, I'm one of those people who I'm not competitive, and so when I find a game that is geared towards unbalanced lists and solid competitive play, I get a little bit put out. Warhammer does it as well. There's a lot of stuff in there that's not balanced, and I get stressed with it. A lot of card games, Magic, I get stressed with. This is fantastic. X-Wing seems to be an absolutely perfectly balanced game. I mean, you can choose your ships for your squadrons, you can choose the upgrades, but even on games where I've lost horribly, I've come away going, that was fun, that was awesome. Oh, pardon me. So if you're looking for, it's not cheap, to be honest. When I originally looked at it, I went, £11 something for a single ship, for a single fighter. No, you can go swivel, sort of like my response. But after playing it, boom, it's worth it. I've had a lot of enjoyment out of it. So if you're looking for a little sort of like miniatures game, only needs to be played on like a normal table. I think it recommends a 3x3 playing area, but you don't probably even need that, providing but yeah, so before I disappear off with the fairies, yes, check that game out, it's very good. So that's fairly where I am up to date at the moment. I'm hoping that at some point soon I want to try and get another game going. I've done a lot of Pathfinder, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm feeling myself being drawn back and back towards both Deathwatch and the Doctor Who Adventures in Time and Space RPGs, but trying to find people who'd be willing to play it, because either they're not Warhammer fans for Deathwatch, or they're not the right sort of people, I think, to play something like the Doctor Who game. Is being really difficult and pain in the backside. But that's what I'm looking to try and do as the next few months go by. Anyway, this has gone on for 1 minute 8 seconds longer than I'd intended, so thank you for watching. Hopefully I'm going to get some more vids going over the next few days, the next week or so. Until then, take care, good gaming, and have fun. Bye bye.